Hi, I'm Sarah Hart from Sarah Hart Driving School and Drive Hart. So today I'm going to deliver a briefing on how we teach our pupils to turn into a side road on the left. For the purpose of today's briefing, I'm using my magnetic board. Of course, you can use any tools you wish, but this is my favourite one for this particular briefing. So we're in the white car with all the snazzy logos on the top, of course, as you would expect. And we're going to talk about how we safely negotiate a side road on the left. So the first question I'd ask my pupils is, if we're turning into a side road on the left, do you think that they should have to give way to any other traffic? Or do they think that theoretically we should be able to make our turn? Most of them, if they've done any type of cycling proficiency, or perhaps they ride a moped or something similar, might know that they should have the right of passage to make the turn. Say, for example, the guy coming out would have to wait until the main road is clear. And if this chap wanted to turn in, he'd have to give way to us because he's crossing our lane. If they don't know that, obviously you're going to explain that to them. So let's have a look at our process for turning into a side road on the left. We're going to employ our MS-PSL ADA routine. So we're going to start the process about 8 to 10 car lengths back from the side road. Of course, if there's a side road prior to the one we want to turn into, we'd have to delay our signal. But we would, of course, still have to start slowing down. So the way to assess where your side road is might be, if it's not clear to see on the road, you might look for a gap in between houses. So let's start the process. About 8 to 10 car lengths away from the junction, we're going to start with our mirrors. That would be our centre and left door mirrors, and a left signal is applied. We're going to be looking at our position, which we want to keep relatively central in our lane. We certainly don't want to be swinging out or hugging the curb too closely. So nice central position in our lane. Our speed and gear depends on how open or closed, and that means how easy or tricky our side road is. So on this magnetic board here, you can see that the side road is quite wide in the mouth, so on approach they'll see a good expanse of tarmac. That usually leads you to believe that it's a reasonably open junction, and this one as well has got a sweeping corner. So in real terms, we should be able to approach this one in second gear. We're going to be coming along, so speed and gear is applied. We're going to look in our door mirror on the left before we start steering to make sure that that cyclist called Bob isn't coming up our inside. And of course we're going to be looking well ahead into our side road. So we're looking into our side road, and as we come round we're starting to assess what's happening there, assuming it's clear. We haven't got many decisions to make. We're going to turn the corner, we're going to come round into our side road, and upon straightening our steering wheel we're going to check our rear view mirror and our right door mirror, and then make progress if it's safe to do so along the road. Now, I did mention about open and closed junctions. If the junction was closed, that might mean that it's a much tighter turn. So if I just reveal this side road here, if our car was turning into this side road, clearly you can see the mouth of the road is very narrow, the corner is very sharp, so clearly first gear would be the gear that you needed to make your turn, and you'd need to make it much more slowly than if it was a nice open junction. So let's go back to turning into a nice open junction. We talked about whether we'd have to give way to anybody as we come in, and it's possible that there might be a pedestrian crossing the road, so you'd certainly have to give way there. Or maybe there's a parked car here and the other car is coming round that car. This again would mean that you would have to stop. So there might be a number of hazards that might mean that you have to stop as you're entering your side road, but that's why it's really important to look, assess, decide and act upon what you see as you enter the side road. So those are some basic processes to get into the side road safely. And after you've delivered this briefing to your pupil, what you would do at the end of the lesson is you would send them the student revision pack on turning into a side road on the left. And the first part of each revision pack is a private practice challenge. And in this case, it actually wants the supervising driver, possibly the parent, to ask questions and quiz the pupil on their knowledge of turning into a side road on the left. And also, as is suggested here, they're asking for the supervising driver to go out and show the pupil how to turn into a side road on the left. And this is the way that we engage the wider community of our pupils. It's really important that these handout packs are used, and then obviously in your next lesson you'd then get feedback from your pupil about what they've done with their challenge, had they completed it, had they had some experience with their parents. So it's a good way to engage the parents and also enlighten the parents on the challenges that the pupils face. So there we are. That's the end of the briefing.